Hey, it's Forge Guy here with another Forge podcast, and today I want to talk to you about first impressions. Now, first impressions can mean a handful of things. A first impression could be what somebody thinks of you right out of the bat when they meet you. That's what we usually think of as a first impression. But I like to think of a first impression pertaining to maps as a first playthrough. A first impression, it's kind of the same, but it's a lot different as well. A first impression in real life, it could just pertain to meeting somebody, or it could pertain to going on a date. It could pertain to a whole variety of situations, and first impressions on a map can pertain to only one or two situations I can think of. And that's when you have it out on a forum, like something like Forge Hub or Bungie.net, or if you're just taking someone on through a first playthrough. Now, I'm gonna cover Forge Hub stuff first. What you want to be aware of when you're making a first impression on Forge Hub is when you're posting, and this is the same for Bungie.net as well. When you're posting a map post, make sure you have the post is very organized. You have lots of screenshots that show off the map very well, and they show off the good parts of the map. They don't show off the parts that maybe you didn't spend as much time on. You want to really show off the parts of the map that are appealing and that people were going to like right out of the bat. Another thing that I noticed is you don't ever want to name your map something offensive or unoriginal. That's just a rule of thumb. Also, descriptions. Descriptions are important. If you still have the default description from Forge World, it looks terrible. I gotta say, it looks really terrible when you're trying to download a map and you just see a blank canvas recommended for Forge only. What does that mean? That tells me nothing about your map. I'm skipping it. It's not worth a download, you guys. Catchy titles. Catchy titles. Like, I don't know. Frick. Come up with something that hasn't been done before. Something that's really, it's both simple and elegant, and it's also unique, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, one or two word titles are usually the best. Atom, quantum, something of that nature that's very vague and, broad descriptive. And what else are we covering? Oh, yeah. First impressions on a playthrough. What you really want to think about on your maps is first impression when you're forging, because first impressions are absolutely crucial. If you're making a remake, be true as you possibly can to the map. Do not add weapons that weren't there. Do not take away weapons that were there. Don't change anything about the map unless you absolutely have to and you cannot find an alternative. That is the only time I would recommend you change anything on a remake. Secondly, if it's an original map, you want to just think of, are my weapons easy to find? Are people going to get spawn camped? Is the hill in a neutral location that's easy to get to from both sides? Is it difficult to find my way there on the map? Are people going to get frustrated on my map because of camping or, power weapons or something like that? All of that has to be taken into consideration when you're forging your map. What I like to do is when I think I'm done with a map, I like to play through it on the game mode as just myself as it was for my first time. I want to have the same thoughts that a player for the first time on my map would have, and I want to get rid of all my biased opinions and actually play through the map by myself, and then play through the map the same way with friends. It's going to play totally different for you if you have an unbiased opinion, and you're going to see flaws almost right away. It helps, I promise. Make sure if you're posting on Forge Hub, like I said, tons of screenshots, attractive screenshots, and preferably you don't want to have players in your screenshots. I don't know why that is, but if you have players in your screenshots, that is like a deterrent for some reason. I don't know why. Just try to avoid it. People like to see just the map. And if you want to have gameplay screenshots that are separate, you can do that as well. But I don't recommend to have in just the map general screenshots players at all. Also, you want to have, if you really want to get some good impressions and, be over the top with it, make a gameplay video. Like on my map remote installation, I submitted it to my forgings before I posted it up on ForgeHub, and I got a gameplay video made already for me. Because I don't have a capture device, and that was the only method that I could think of where I could get a gameplay video. Plus, it was really nice, and you get a whole different fan base from my forgings, watch it, the fans of my forging watching it. You'll get more downloads, I promise. Good impressions equal fans. If you don't make a good impression, even if your friends are referring you to the custom maps, I'm talking about on the forums right now, even if your friends refer the custom map to 10 people, and they play on it and they like it and blah blah blah, even if you make a good impression on the playthrough, the impression on the forum could be bad. You're gonna lose out on at least, I don't know. I put my map up for a week, and I had 383 views on my post. If my first impression was bad, I could have lost all of them. Now, I only got 15 more downloads, but 383 people took the time to peruse my map. Now, if you think about it, when you're on ForgeHub, you're looking through maps relatively fast. I mean, you're spending 5 minutes on each post looking at them. If you get a good first impression from it, I mean, just think about it, you will go and download it. You will go and play it. That first impression leads to the first playthrough. Both steps are crucial. If you get a bad impression, you're going to skip it. No screenshots? Skip it. It's not worth my time. That sort of thing. Just think about it. Go on ForgeHub one day and just keep track of all of the maps that you peruse through. Just keep track of it. And you'll realize how hard it is to get your map discovered when there's 400,000 people who do the exact same thing. What else can I say about first impressions? A map needs to look good aesthetically as well. And it needs to suit a whole variety of different players, from MLG to grandiose noob. It needs to fit all player styles, and it needs to be easy to navigate and easy to use advanced tactics, and also support the people who are just going to go around and run and gun because they don't know any better. They haven't learned the layout of the map. It needs to be good. The layout needs to be logical. It needs to make sense. But what I'm really saying here is good impression equals credibility. And credibility equals fans. Fans equals downloads. And downloads is the difference between 10 replies on a map and the next Bungie favorites map. You know what I'm saying? Even though you can't answer me, I will ask you questions at some points for emphasis. But you definitely want to make a great first impression, or they're gonna flake out on you. It's just a simple fact. I'm sorry if you think that's shallow or mean, but that's just what's happening. So I hope this was a helpful tidbit. I'm starting with basics and I'm moving on to advanced. So advanced forgers, stick around, subscribe. I will eventually get to topics that will interest you, but I'm going to start from the ground up. So stick around. This has been another Forgecast. Oh, that's a good name. I'm going to start calling them those. This has been another Forgecast by SFUX Forge Guy. Oh, and before I go, also check out Godly Perfections Forge lesson guide thing. I mean, I'm pulling all of my material like almost straight from his lessons PDF. I'll have a link in the description, but reachingperfection.com. Oh my God, the Forge lessons on there are amazing. And in conjunction with, the videos that I have on my favorites and, and these podcasts, I'm sure you'll draw a lot from these lessons. They're well thought out, and God, they're just great. Go ahead and peruse over to reachingperfection.com and give them some support. Peace out, guys.